Hi everybody, it is Wayward Gypsy here to do a WIP Chat. I'm just going to get started. I'll tell you about what I'm working with and what I'm working on once we get into it. So I'm going to zoom you into the spot. You can see I have a little bit of a river here, but it's really not horrible. So I'm going to sit down and we can start working and chatting. Hopefully I'm not going to get in my own way. I don't think I've ever zoomed in quite this far. I am working on this Girl Moon Forest diamond painting from AliExpress. It is a pretty old diamond painting. I've had it for quite a long time, and in my attempts to kind of de-stash a little bit, I decided that I need to finish it finally. Like, I had maybe less than a quarter of it done, and my last WIP Chat was doing this one, so I figured I would go ahead and work on this again. I am working 820. 820 is kind of a window pane sort of symbol. I am using one of my new pens from the Etsy seller Cosmic Pens. I absolutely adore this pen. It's so pretty. I love the colors. Little bit of everything. Well, everything that is my favorite color, which is hot pink and purple and blue and teal and sparkle. Well, sparkle is my true favorite color. It is polymer clay and it is beautiful quality. As you can see, I'm excited to start using it. I might need to pause you guys at some point and put my light board under here, but maybe not. We shall see. All right, so I'm scanning for this symbol. I might not actually have any 820s in this section. That would be a little strange, wouldn't it? Okay, I actually don't see any 820s. For some reason, I already had these out in this tray. I'm not sure why, but I don't think that we need them. So we'll put that tray over out of our way, and we will pull out this other tray, which is just sitting here holding some trash drills, which I am going to go ahead and toss. Oh my goodness. All right, what color do we want to work on then? Why don't we go with this sort of checkerboard symbol, which is 823. There we go. So how is everybody doing? I know that I've been kind of sporadic about posting the last couple weeks. It's been kind of a comedy of errors around here. My dogs keep getting issues, and my cat, I went in Saturday night and she was having trouble like functioning. It's like her back end wouldn't work right. Like, she would tell it to go one direction and it wouldn't. So it kind of took her a while to get around. We got her in to see the vet today, and we have to take her in tomorrow to have a bunch of x-rays and imaging done. So that's fun. She is my sweet little girl. She's getting old. She hasn't had the healthiest of lives. She is 16, and whenever she was 6, about 10 years ago, we took her to the vet for a pretty innocuous issue. She wasn't really eating or drinking, and you know, I had just started a new job, and so I was out of the house more, and we took her to this vet, and the vet almost killed her. Like, instead of treating her properly, she gave her a medication that was counter-indicated for cats that are dehydrated, and she basically sent her into full kidney failure, and we had to fight to keep her alive. She was on a feeding tube for, I don't know, 3 or 4 months. She was in the ICU. We had to take her to different animal hospitals to get her treatment. So she she had that big scare, and the place that we rescued her from, she didn't have a whole lot of food security, and so she didn't have the best nutrition whenever she was starting out her life, and I think that that probably also affected her general well-being. So we are hoping that they tell us that it's something that's easily treatable, but we shall see. Tomorrow we will know more, but today I'm trying not to worry about it, which is one of those fun things. We found out my middle dog has Wesley. If anybody follows me on Instagram, you've seen pictures of my dogs everywhere because they're kind of my life. Wesley is my middle dog. He's about 7 years old, and he is suffering from dry eyes, and we don't know why, but we are having to give him eye drops like 4 to 6 times a day, different eye drops to try to keep his eyes from getting infected or getting a corneal ulcer or scratched or whatever. Bad things can happen whenever your eye doesn't have any tears. He's not producing tears pretty much at all. So he's got his little issues going on, and we're trying to work to keep him comfortable. It's not like he's gonna go blind because of this. It's just, it's stressful and uncomfortable for him. So, and he really, really does not like eye drops. He has the strongest little eyelids ever. If you've ever tried to give eye drops to a dog or cat, they are somehow able to exert more strength in their little eyelids than you are in your entire big old hands. I don't know how they do it, but it takes both my husband and I to give him his eye drops. But they're a gel too, which is kind of weird. So like it's harder to get them out of the bottle, so it seems like it takes forever, which is even more fun for him and us. But he's doing okay. He hasn't had any scratches or abrasions or anything like that, so we'll keep doing it because we want to keep his eyes as healthy as we can. If the current treatment that he's on, which also is including an oral steroid, doesn't serve to get his eyes better, then we're probably going to have to take him to Oklahoma City to a doggy optometrist. I didn't even know that there are doggy optometrists, like doctors that specialize in eyeballs for dogs or cats. I assume they also work with cats, but just crazy, a vet that specializes in eyeballs. I'm hoping it doesn't come to that, but we're kind of running out of options at our regular vet. The regular vet's like, I have no idea. If these things aren't working, I don't know what the next step would be, so I'm probably going to refer you to the optometrist. So we shall see. He's currently laying on the floor in here. He and Mocha both love it whenever I'm working in here because I put some throw rugs in here. I put a bunch of dog beds. If you watched my cleanup and organization video, you can see all of the dog beds in here. I actually just got another new dog bed in for the bedroom because summer is coming, and normally the dogs all sleep on the bed with us, but they're big dogs and they're big heaters, and come summer they don't want to be cooked, so they wind up sleeping on the floor. And well, they're getting a little bit older, and so I got them another bed. I know, my house is just completely full of dog beds. If you came to my house, there are more places for dogs to lay down than there are people to sit. But that's okay. They are kind of my world, so they get spoiled a lot. And you will probably hear Leo barking. It is about 8 p.m., which means that everybody and their dog, literally, are out walking because we are experiencing a very brief break in the rain. It feels like it's been raining for weeks, and we're under like storm warnings for the next 10-day forecast, which is kind of annoying, but that's also, spring in Oklahoma. It is our rainy season. It is our stormy season. We've been under cloud cover for ages, it feels like. I'm a sunshine girl. You couldn't tell it to look at me. I am so pale, but, I love my sunshine, and my doggies love their sunshine. But because there's the break, everybody is walking their dog after dinner, and so Leo has to protect the property. So it doesn't matter if they're, a block down the road. If he sees them through the window in the bedroom, he will bark at them. He's currently resting in the bedroom, but if he hears or sees anybody, he must woof at them. If he gets too noisy, I will have to go shush him because my husband is working downstairs, and if he's on a conference call, I really don't want the dogs barking their heads off and interrupting things. I actually felt so bad. Leo, the youngest, the blonde dog, went downstairs last night to hang out with his daddy. I thought he was just going downstairs to hang out, but he went downstairs and apparently interrupted my husband's meeting. Felt so bad. I try to keep them occupied when he's working, but he has been, I mentioned it in my last WIP Chat, he has been working with a team in India, and so his schedule is it's kind of like he works during the day, like California time, with the engineers that they have in California, and then he takes a break in the afternoon, late afternoon, early evening, and then around 10:30 he starts his meetings and working with the team in India because they're starting their day, and it has been kind of an epic thing as he kind of gets that team ramped up on the project that they're working on. It's really kind of funny, the differences between what is expected from software engineers in India versus the US. Not saying that one is better than the other, it's just the expectations are very different, and so it's I almost like it whenever he takes his meetings upstairs because I can hear the kind of cultural differences, because there are cultural differences. The cultures are very, very different. Expectations are different. The way people relate to each other are different, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing or that one is better than the other. Please understand that, but it's fascinating for me as somebody who loves to watch people and listen to people to see those differences. So I have to admit to some eavesdropping whenever he's working upstairs. Not that I understand anything they're actually talking about, because I am not a programmer. I don't think linearly, and so they're very methodical about the things that they discuss, and things have to go in a certain way. And talking to my husband, he's gotten used to me, but it's still interesting to listen to the way engineers and software people talk to each other. It's very different. Most of my friends are artistic, and so we talk to each other. It's very free flowing. It's not kind of regimented. It's not, it doesn't always follow logical paths. Michael says listening to some of my friends and I talk is like listening to like a stream of consciousness discussion, because we get off on tangents and we, you know, will go over like 18 different subjects, and then come back around to the first subject entirely, like we never left it. And it's apparently very confusing for him. This canvas is moving around like crazy. Anyway, hopefully we're still in frame. I could stand up and look, but I need to get one of those angled mirrors I heard somebody talking about, so that I can put it above my phone, so that I can actually kind of glance up and see, am I still in frame, instead of having to stand up to look. But yeah, it's been a not so fun time of my animals having health issues, and with the weather being cranky, my animals are also crankier, because normally we have our routine. And I don't know if you have animals, let me know if your animals are like this, but whenever our routine gets messed up, they are just cranky. They're kind of like, you know, I've never had kids. My husband and I tried, but I've never had kids. But in my experience with my copious numbers of nieces and nephews and adopted nieces and nephews, I've noticed that toddlers tend to be like, if you don't stick to their schedule, they can just be holy terrors. And I've noticed that my dogs are very much like that. Like, if we don't go out at the exact same time every day for their walk, it's like the world is ending and the drama is real, y'all. Smart working dogs, they have their own schedule, and if you don't stick to it, they will let you know all about it. And having 3 Labrador mixes just compounds everything. So I have to take Leo out at a specific time, or he throws a fit, kind of like, I have excess wax. He throws a fit kind of like a toddler, like, that doesn't get what he wants. He will wander around the house and like scratch on the walls and insist on treats and just generally make himself a nuisance. So he has been, with the rain, I've had to kind of mix up the schedule a little bit, like take him out whenever there is less rain, or like on the days that it's really, really raining hard, we just don't go at all. Mostly because they don't like to walk in the rain. Like, I could put on a raincoat, I could put on a pair of pants that it doesn't matter if they get wet. I have waterproof shoes, but they go outside and it's raining in their face and they get very cranky. Particularly Leo. He is one of those dogs, like, he's a lab mix, and he acts like a lab mix. He likes the water on his terms. Like, if he chooses to get wet, it's perfectly fine. But if he's not the one who initiated that, absolutely not. No, ma'am. Absolutely no way. So I try and take him out when it's raining, and he's just like, nope, no, take me back in the house. Like, he won't even go out and pee when it's raining. Speaking of Leo, his fur is all over this canvas. Okay, let me see if this is actually moved out of the frame. Nope, we're still there. Hopefully the quality is good. Tried to make sure the lens was clean, but you know, sometimes I've been going back and forth and all over the place. Sorry, I'm getting myself a drink of water, but the bottle wasn't open. And whenever you go out when it's really, really humid and walk the dogs, yeah, your phone in your pocket, it's gonna get a bit damp. Like, we don't walk fast enough to make me sweat. You know, since I lost weight, I'm a runner. I love to run, but since Michael's injured, I haven't been able to run because I walk the dogs for an hour and a half every night. And honestly, that's about all the cardio any one person needs at any given time. I don't feel the need to overdose on cardio. And aside from Leo, none of them can run. Like Mocha and Wesley can't run a full run with me. And really, Leo can't either. He hits a point where he's just like, nope, I am not running anymore. Especially once it starts getting warmer. Like in the winter, sure, he'll run with me the whole way. But once it starts getting warmer, he gets overheated, and I get that. So we've been walking, and it's not enough. Like it's relatively fast walk, but I mean, dogs stop to sniff all sorts of things, and you know, for us, our average is about a 17-minute mile, I would say, which is it's a brisk walk, but it's not like fast with the sniff stops and the potty stops and all that stuff. That's the average, is about 17-minute mile. But it's not enough to get me sweaty. So the last week or so, whenever I take them out, I come back and I'm completely soaked. And Michael's like, wow, did you guys run tonight? I'm like, nope, that is just humidity. And literally every part of me is soaked. My feet, because the grass is completely covered in dew. My hair is like a mass of curls. I posted a photo on Instagram about, you know, the humidity in my hair. It just goes crazy curly and frizzy curly. If it were pretty, it would be one thing, but it's like frizzy curly, because humidity is never a kind mistress whenever you have curly hair. So yeah, humid, and walking dogs, and the phone gets gunky is what I'm trying to get around to in a very roundabout way. Sorry, I'm even less focused than normal today, probably because of the vet visit and our schedule being off, and yeah, fun. But I actually am doing another kind of retreat with my mom this weekend, the same group of people, but it's not 3 days this week, it's only 2 days. It's Friday evening and then Saturday earlier in the day. Like it starts really early, but I don't get up really early. And by really early, I mean people get there at about 8 a.m. My mom and I don't usually show up until, I don't know, 10 or 11, sometimes noon. But Friday night it goes until 10 p.m., which is really nice. So we'll go and we'll do that. And then Saturday we'll get up and show up around noon and have to leave around 3. But it's a way to be social while still being crafty. So that's fun. It's run by someone my mom used to work with at the hospital way back when, and she's very, very sweet. And her mom, her dad is a pastor, and it's his church that we do the retreats at. And her mom, I absolutely adore her mom. She always makes sure that mom has something gluten-free to eat, and you know, she makes sure that there's something safe for me to eat, because, you know, I'm not as restricted as my mom, but knowing that things like celiac, especially the celiac that they don't detect until later in life, runs in families, and it's very, yeah. Cheryl makes sure that we all have what we need to be healthy and happy, and so I really appreciate her. Ooh, my computer just updated over here to my left. I have a Mac. I don't know what kind of computer everybody else uses. We're an Apple family, always have been. Since after our first Commodore 64, we've had Macs my whole life. And my computer has been updating over here. It feels like a ton lately. Now, I tell it to just auto install the updates, but every time I come in here, it prompts me for my password instead of logging in using my Apple Watch because it's rebooted, and you know, it has to have your password before it will log you back in, which is fine. It's fine. Yay, we're up to date. Okay, let me turn that off. I actually found a fantastic YouTube channel that has royalty-free music that I was thinking it might be nice for like maybe my next resin WIP Chat, to have like the music going in the background so you guys don't have to just listen to me talking. But you might be interested in that, I don't know. It has not been a hugely entertaining week aside from all of the critters having issues. My mom has been feeling better. So she kind of went into a fibromyalgia flare up, which comes along with a lot of pain and a lot of unsteadiness. And she had several weeks in a row where she didn't feel like getting out of the house at all. And then all of a sudden in the last few days, she's been coming over to visit us, and I fix her a latte because I have my espresso maker, and I fix her a latte and she sits and chats for a little while and then goes home. It's good for her to get away from my dad. They've been married for 46 years. And yeah, they just, since they're both retired now, they get a little cantankerous, spending all their time together. It's funny and stressful as their child to watch it, because you know, your parents are kind of infallible beings, and then you grow up and realize that that's not true at all. And yeah, they're kind of funny to watch. They argue and bicker, but it's their way of relating to each other and communicating. So I'm not gonna tell them they can't. It's just good for them to get away from each other. My dad is feeling a little bit better too, so he walks over and spends time with his grand puppies. It took him a really long time for Leo to accept him. Leo loves my dad. He loves most people, but he was not properly socialized, which is kind of our fault. Like, we rescued him as a little bitty puppy, but we were unaware of the steps that we should have taken to make sure that he was properly socialized. And he has some fear-based aggression and kind of different reactions to people, and especially tall, loud men. And my dad is 6'4", and he does not have an inside voice. Like, he just doesn't have one. It's not that he's one of those people that just he is incapable of speaking quietly, and it's been my whole life. It's not like it's a new thing since he's gotten older. It's not a hearing problem. It's just the man is loud. And so it took Leo a long time to warm up to him. So now that Grandpa is one of Leo's favorite people, Grandpa loves to come visit him just to make sure he stays one of his favorite people. It's kind of adorable, because he figured out that the more he comes over, the more Leo loves on him, and the faster he kind of acclimates to him being around. So I can't wait for the pandemic to be over so we can work more on his socialization training. It's just really, really hard. He reacts to people and dogs. So we have to get him used to people before we can work on the dog reactivity. But we haven't been able to be around people or dogs, so we haven't been able to work on either during this entire last year. Like, I was taking him to classes and getting him training and working with him daily, and he was doing so much better, and then the pandemic hit. And I think we've lost most of it because, you know, he's relatively well behaved on walks. Like he walks on a leash just fine unless he gets scared, and then he pulls like a maniac. Although we are getting better with that too. The problem is he doesn't get any exposure to dogs that are not in their own yard, and dogs in their own yard tend to react aggressively, and because they're very territorial, they just are. So dogs that might be really, really well behaved whenever they're out and about with other dogs and animals, whenever they're in their own yard, they tend to be aggressive about that territory, barking and like lunging at the fence. And we have noticed in this neighborhood there are a lot of dogs that have that territoriality. Is that even a word, or am I making that up? They're very territorial, and so they'll bark at the fence, and so all other dogs are scary right now. So, you know, if we see a dog whenever we're out on a walk, he reacts with that sort of fear. And unfortunately, to be able to expose him to other dogs, we have to be able to work with people. And so it's been very limited. Our options have been very limited. So that is a problem I know that we are not alone in. There are a lot of pets that have lost their socialization training and have lost out on a lot of good experiences because of the pandemic. So I cannot wait to be able to take him back to training. And, you know, I'm vaccinated. I'm fully vaccinated. I could probably take him to training. But at the same time, I live in Oklahoma, and the regular, everyday, average Oklahoman is not inclined to get the vaccination. And that's how variants develop. And I would rather not have to deal with being hospitalized because I caught one of the variants that my vaccine is not as effective against. So fun. We actually already have the India variant here. It's been detected in our county. So meh, I don't want to talk about that anymore. Just say I need to work on training my dog. He is cute, and he is a yellow lab, and they are very, very social critters naturally, and so people see him and they immediately want to run up and love on him and pet him and engage with him, and that's just not possible right now. We warn people who come in the house, like, oh, that's something else that happened this last week. We hired a house cleaner. Yay! So it's not that I don't clean my house, but every 2 weeks somebody else will come in and do all the cleaning that I don't want to do. It's not that I can't, I don't want to do it. And we can afford to pay somebody, so we are going to. But we have to tell folks who come into the house, you know, don't try and pet him, don't talk to him until he calms down. Once he calms down, once we have welcomed somebody into the house, we have introduced them, and he kind of gets used to them being there, he's fine. Especially women. He's kind of sexist that way. Most dogs are. They prefer one gender or the other. But he especially loves, you know, smaller, quieter women. So he got used to the cleaning ladies really, really fast. They're kind of college-age girls. I think they're working their way through college. Hey, I did it. I cleaned houses whenever I was their age. That's what I told them. I'm like, that's how I learned that I don't want to clean my own house. Cleaning other people's houses. It's also how I grew to hate the smell of bacon. I cleaned this one house for 2 or 3 years, and I swear to God, these people cooked bacon in their microwave probably every morning. And so I would open their microwave to clean it and just get smacked in the face with this overwhelming smell of bacon. And oh my God, it was so revolting because like that smell has a fat component to it. Like that smell sinks into a surface because of the fattiness of bacon. And so that smell also kind of has that hint of like rancid fat. And oh my God, yeah, I learned to hate the smell of bacon cooking. I actually, poor Michael, he loves bacon and he loves the smell. I ask him to cook bacon because he likes to slow cook it in the oven so that it is crispier and more of the fat renders off, but it takes less minding. There's a whole trick on how to do it. Like there's whole groups out there about it, but he loves to cook it in the oven. I ask that he do it whenever I'm not home because the smell is just so revolting to me still. Like I'm 42 years old and I still can't stand the smell of bacon because I cleaned a house when I was 19, right? It just, ugh. I have all sorts of crazy stories from when I was a cleaning lady, but I will not regale you with them all now. Most of them are gross. I cleaned a lot of houses with really questionable characters living there. And by questionable characters, I mean like teenagers and, you know, human beings who do normal things. It's just, ew. Okay, is that all the H's? Excuse me. Oh, I'm not tired. I actually slept in today. Oh my gosh, I found one of the 823s that I missed. Of course. Let's see. I love these Harbor Freights for this. Okay, so I mentioned my canvas and my pen. My Harbor Freights for storage, it actually takes 2 of them for this canvas. There are a lot of colors, and the colors in the backgrounds, like blues, are all, yeah, there were big bags of them. So these, being an ever moment, the quality of the drills is good, but still whenever you're working with a lot of darker colors, you tend to wind up with more trash. And so they provide a big overage in drills, especially in the dark colors. So like I had 3 containers of 939 or 4 containers of 939. I've already gone through 2 of them. And then like 3 containers of the 823. No, I had 2 containers of 823, 2 containers of 820 that were completely packed full. It's kind of fun watching the containers get emptied out because I'm down to 2 of 939 and 1 each of 820 and 823. What is your drink of choice whenever you're just sitting and crafting? I know some people do coffee, some people do tea. I do hint water. I specifically love the watermelon. Oh my gosh. And I don't like it cold. Like I like it room temperature. Not like garage temperature in Oklahoma, which is warm, but room temperature. So I bring a 12 pack in here. It lives under my desk. It's so good. It's just refreshing and it gives you flavor without being sweet and gives you flavor without being overpowering. So I had bariatric surgery in 2018, and after my surgery I was so sensitive to flavors. Anything that was really strong flavored, I couldn't drink it or eat it. Less so now, but there are still some things that if they're over flavored or over sweetened, like a lot of the sports drinks, even the sugar-free ones, they're just too sweet. I can't stomach them. I'll drink Powerade or Gatorade, the zero version with zero sugar, but it has to be half and half diluted with water, or the flavor is just too strong and it's just too sweet. So I found the hint water while I was out in California with my husband, and it's been my #1 drink since my surgery. Well, since I could drink cooler things since my surgery. Whenever I first had surgery, I couldn't drink anything that wasn't warm. Like, it would get stuck, which is kind of a thing that happens usually with people with food, but it happened with me with anything that was massively flavored. All right, now we're on to the diamond. There's a lot of confetti in this, but I'm doing such small sections that it isn't quite as overwhelming. Like, the yellow sections where it's like magic, like in here and like over here. I dripped water on my canvas. Where are my tissues? Huh. It's a good thing once it's already down, it doesn't matter. This is real life, you guys. This is recording live. Anyway, confetti. Yeah, I was talking about confetti. It's not bad confetti, but it is, working in small sections is the only way that it doesn't get overwhelming. Like, whenever I bought this ages ago on AliExpress from Evermoment, I don't think I had ever, like, this now is a fairly small canvas for me. I don't think I had ever done a canvas this size, and I don't think that I had ever done anything that wasn't like what I would consider a beginner canvas, so I hadn't dealt with a whole lot of confetti. And like, even just down in the lower part that's mostly the dark blues, it's still a lot of colors in one section, and it overwhelmed me a bit. And so it was a square and it was confetti, and I was not ready to do this canvas when I started it. I thought I was. The first canvas I did was a square, but yeah, no, they're very different. I do like squares, but they definitely take me a lot longer to finish than rounds. Stick my hand in the adhesive. I actually have one of the new Diamond Dots square diamond paintings that I'm wanting to do. I almost started it today. I almost didn't get out this canvas to work on it. It's been hanging on a pants hanger on a thumbtack on my living room wall, waiting for me to work on it again. And I was just like, you know, since Wesley is doing better and he's not in the cone, and I can, you know, actually work in my office for a little bit, I'm gonna go do my WIP Chat in the office again, because it is so much nicer to sit at this table and not have to worry about dogs bumping my arm while I'm working, and not have to worry about them bumping the table. There's another 823 I missed. I do this a lot. So if you're one of those people that you're like, I put away that color and now I see a whole line of them that I missed, you are not alone. Do not ever feel alone in that. We all do it. And apparently my adhesive, or my stuff in my pen, is no longer as adhesive, so to pull out one drill to put it in there. All right, we're looking for the diamond. Oh, there's a bunch up here. I like the colors in this canvas. I wish that they had kind of lightened up the composition a little bit. Like, I get that it's nighttime in a forest and there's not a whole lot of light, but using predominantly 939 and 823, it gets depressing. So I'm happy that I'm up to this part where there's more variety, even if it does mean that there's more confetti. Because I'd rather work with oranges and mustards and, you know, mix in the blue rather than just blues. Because like this lower section where I started down here, yeah, that was just like the most boring thing ever for me to work on. Let me put this back up here for you. I don't know if that's the right spot or not, but pretty close. It'll probably move around anyway. But I have been really enjoying watching everyone's videos lately. I kind of feel like I haven't been posting my videos and I wasn't able to make it to a lot of lives for a little while, and I kind of felt like I was out of touch. And so I'm enjoying that I'm able to hop on a little bit more and engage with the community a little bit more again. I think that, you know, trying to stick to a schedule is really hard for me, just because I am, you know, I am naturally artistic tempered and schedules are hard. You know, it's kind of funny. I don't believe in astrology. Astronomy, yes. Astrology, no. But it's kind of funny that, you know, one of the main traits of Capricorn, which is me, I was born January 7th. One of the main traits of Capricorns is, you know, sticking to a schedule and being regular and dependable. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's not me. That has never been me. I am not and never have been a person with large ambitions, a very strongly held beliefs and things that I would like to do, but I have never been an ambitious person, and I'm not particularly competitive. You know, I can get competitive, but I think everybody can, depending on what it is. I'm kind of surprised some of these colors, like this one is 434. This one actually, I've had more trash in it than I would have expected from a color that was this shade. Like it's not particularly dark. It's more on the light side, but I've had a lot of knobbly bits on these squares. And I know I said it in my last video too, working on this, but everybody crows about the squares from Evermoment. Maybe it's just this canvas, but I am not impressed. My squares from DAC are so much better, and yeah. 498. Do we have any of those? That's an M. There's an M. Kind of sticks out because it's one of the few bright red colors. This one isn't even the bright one, but it is definitely red. I see X's, which are red. There's another M. I knew I saw another one. Any more? Any more? Oh, I'm sure there's more. I just don't see them right now, so I'll have to get that back out, I'm sure, later. All right, 517 is a little no sign. And I've only seen one of those, I think. It's over here. I do not see any others of those. I see the little rounded rounds. I get so focused on the colors that Sometimes I forget I have to talk about something that's not just the colors I'm working on, don't I? 7, 3, 8 is 9. That symbol is the 3 dots. I have a few of those, not many. It's a pretty sort of beige, yellowy beige. Makes me think of that skit, beige. I think I'll paint my ceiling beige. My husband and I started watching all of the Marvel movies in release order. We decided we would start all over again with the current Marvel movies from Iron Man. We've been having a lot of fun with it. We became aware that we had never seen the 2008 Hulk movie, The Incredible Hulk. Wasn't really that good, but you know, it gets better. Realized that we did not remember anything except for the final scene from Iron Man 2. It was kind of amusing. We're like, wait, what? What? Like, we were making conjectures about a character, and sure enough, like, why do we not remember this? I mean, we might have seen it once, is my guess, because it was good, but it wasn't that good. So my guess is we only saw it the once. And so, you know, compared to some of the other movies that we've seen over and over again, it seems, we didn't really remember much about it. But, you know, there are so many fun movies in the Marvel franchise, and so many, like, quotable scenes and stuff like that, that it's just fun going through and watching again and like catching stuff that you missed before or just didn't remember, or whenever you see a later movie, it puts it in better context. So it's been a lot of fun watching them. We're just starting phase 2 now, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I don't know why we haven't done this before, because we're both huge nerds. It's just how it is. I wouldn't say like either one of us is any sort of super fan for any particular fandom, but we are definitely just big general nerds or geeks, and we like to be fans and follow, you know, specific actors or genres of movie. And it's weird that we've never watched from the beginning, but I guess now that the first sort of general story arc is over, now is the time to do it, because they're going to start releasing the new movies with probably more references to stuff that happened before. And yeah, it just made sense. And honestly, like, there's a lot of good TV out now on a lot of the streaming services, but we have never been big TV fans, but we both love movies. I cannot wait to go back to the theater. There's actually a local theater that for a while there, they were renting out the whole theater. Like, you could rent the whole theater, even if it was just 2 people, like have a big date night sort of thing. And I've thought about doing that, but they weren't releasing any new movies, and there were no movies that were released last year that we wanted to see. So we didn't do that, but that would have been so fun. And I guess we could probably still do it, but once the fear of going to the theater is over, they probably will not continue to do that, renting out the theater, because it was only $129. It started at like $129 for 2 people. and you got the whole theater to yourself, and like you got to pick from a catalog of movies that they had on hand. And like if it were a new, you know, first run movie, they had some of those that you could do, but it would have been more expensive. So yeah, it's interesting. We were tempted but decided not to do it. You know, our anniversary was at the end of April, and we were really thinking about doing it then, but then I wanted to get out of town, and we still haven't done that either because he's been working so hard. His birthday was last week, and I couldn't even get him to play hooky for his birthday. Although he did take a couple days off this weekend. We didn't go anywhere. He just wanted to decompress and relax, and I get that. I totally get that. Ooh, little knobbly bits on that one. How are we doing on time? I didn't actually check the time that I started on my watch, so I need to look at the camera. 1 second. Oh, we should be winding down here in a second. We're at 55 minutes. Oh my goodness. So, please let me know down in the comments what you would like to see me do next, whether it's a diamond painting WIP Chat or a resin WIP Chat. I still haven't decided. The diamond painting is easier because it's just easier to get organized, but I know that the resin stuff is really interesting, and I haven't done it either in a while, so it would be nice to get some stuff done. Also, I wanted to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed. I am over 100 subscribers, and I was not expecting that at all. So thank you for subscribing. I will probably actually be doing a giveaway in my next video. I will have the little giveaway package set up and let everybody see it and figure out how I want to do it and how long I want to run it. But keep your eyes open for that video. It's going to be something fun because why not? I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be learning and growing and doing, and I'm glad that everybody is along for the ride with me. So I think with that, I'm going to let you all go. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Please take care of yourself. Do something fun for yourself. To take care of others, we have to learn how to take care of ourselves first. So just take care of you, and I will see y'all later. Bye.